All right. I don't know if anybody's in here yet, but it seems to be working fine now. So I started a little earlier than I was going to. Let's watch this real quick.
Hello guys, I watch a lot of streams on YouTube, but honestly, Blood League was my favorite. He has completely tapped in historically, spiritually, even cosmically. So if you start watching, accepting quick and suddenly he is connecting dots across history, theology, and civilians. Half of the time, I'm sitting there and thinking, is this guy genius, completely insane, or just dumb? But either way, you cannot stop watching, trust me. So if you have not hit the like button yet, please fix it immediately through him a donation and support Bloodly Ghost. Thank you very much.
And then, of course, now it's jumping all around. Hopefully, it stays. Should be good for now. Um, ooh, Mike's spiking. I hope that's all right. I'm gonna probably wait a little while to see if some more people come in before I really get started. Lost some people because of the technical issues, so hopefully some people come back. We have a new commercial to play while we wait to see if anybody else comes on.
Part of having negative aura, you get fame taxed by life. Aura Max gives you wings. One sip and you'll mog your entire timeline. Packed with pure Sigma extract and zero copium. Side effects include sudden touch grass rants, ghosting your therapist, and realizing your whole bloodline is mid. Not for betas, vegans, or anyone still using pronouns in bio. If you're under 25 and your portfolio is negative, this is financial advice. Max, because your vibe is already cooked, real for real. Buy it or stay in GMI.
Pretty silly ad. Still looks like there's nobody here, so I guess I'll get started anyways. Um, So, what I was saying before I had to end that last stream, I was watching this news story last night, and I started to kind of connect some dots. And this is kind of conspiratorial, and I hope I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that this is definitely going to happen or anything like that, but it's something to kind of keep an eye on, I think. And so we'll start with the news story and go from there.
Just as the next wave of spring break travelers hits the nation's airports, key TSA checkpoints are in gridlock and meltdown. Hours-long lines at Philly with half the terminal checkpoints closed. Nationwide, the TSA says roughly 10% of its officers are calling out every day, working second jobs to make ends meet. 38% call out in Atlanta with 90-minute TSA lines.
It's so packed, and this is the long line.
38% call out in Houston, too, with 2-hour delays. Adding to the stress, assaults on TSA officers. In Dallas, a 33-year-old man arrested for punching 2 TSOs and a police officer, facing up to 20 years in prison. The U.S. attorney warning violent conduct perpetrated against TSA and law enforcement officers will never be tolerated. Meanwhile, no progress in bipartisan talks on Capitol Hill to end the partial shutdown.
Do you see me? Do you see that I'm showing up every day?
TSA officer Heaven Jones has 3 children to feed.
A lot of stress on my family, deciding whether to pay for groceries, gas, all different types of bills.
At airports nationwide, airlines and food banks are feeding TSA staffers. The Trump administration warns if the shutdown and TSA call-outs continue,
you're going to see small airports, I believe, shut down. You're going to see extensive lines, and air travel is going to almost come to a grid halt, stop.
All right, Tom Costello joins us from Reagan National. And Tom, some members of Congress have now left town without an agreement.
Yeah, that's right. And the president of the union representing TSA officers is saying this is ridiculous to leave town without funding DHS. Tom, we have seen these members of Congress walk right through the airport, right past us, up to the TSA line, and go through past the officers who are now still not getting paid. Tom?
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on...
All right. I've been downing my coffee, so I'm going to refill that very quickly. Hopefully some more people come in the meantime. What should I play? I'm just going to play this one. It's a long ad break.
Part of having negative aura, you get phantom taxed by life. Aura Max gives you wings. One sip and you'll mog your entire timeline. Packed with pure Sigma extract and zero copium. Side effects include sudden touch grass rants, ghosting your therapist, and realizing your whole bloodline is mid. Not for betas, vegans, or anyone still using pronouns in bio. If you're under 25 and your portfolio is negative, this is financial advice. Max, because your vibe is already cooked, real for real. Buy it or stay in GMI.
Muted. What up, Captain? Good to see you, dude. All right, so we see that TSA is on strike. They have a huge percentage of their workers calling out sick, not coming into work because they're not getting paid. And apparently Congress does not want to fund them right now. And that kind of made me think of how they were saying that there might be an Iranian threat to the West Coast. I'm gonna be AFK, but I'm listening. All right, man. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, my connection's dropping again. Oh man, this is so frustrating. Oh, we'll try to power through it. So yeah, there were some reports that there might be an Iranian threat to the West Coast, and the White House denying it. This Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, she said this posting and story should be immediately retracted by ABC News for providing false information to intentionally alarm the American people. They wrote this based on one email that was sent to local law enforcement in California about a single unverified tip. The email even states the tip was based on unverified intelligence. Yet ABC News left out this critical fact in their story. Why? To be clear, no such threat from Iran to our homeland exists, and it never did. So, all these people are saying that, that the war is justified because Iran poses a threat to America, and now they're saying that there is no Iranian threat to America. So they can't both be true. And here's another long tweet from Karen Levitt, and it's in relation to Joe Kent, who resigned from his position as the director of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, because he said, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. And it's clear that we started this. He just did a very interesting interview on Tucker Carlson. I'm not going to go through that whole interview because it's like an hour long, and I wouldn't have a ton of commentary for it. But real quick before I talk about that Carolyn Levitt thing, here's a tweet from Alan Dershowitz, who was Trump's lawyer and Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer and good friend of Jeffrey Epstein, talking about Joe Kent. And just because he said that he doesn't support the war, Alan Dershowitz said he's neo-Nazi, Jew-hating, Israel basher, quits administration, good riddance to bad garbage. So now we see the so-called MAGA people using the same tactics as leftists, calling anyone who disagrees with them neo-Nazis. This is Community Noted. It says there's no evidence Joe is a neo-Nazi. He criticized Israeli government influence on U.S. war policy. And they also included that Allen negotiated Epstein's 2008 plea deal granting immunity to co-conspirators because he is one of the co-conspirators. Claw's critics say protected himself. Yeah. Two accusers say he participated in the abuse. And here's a little excerpt from that. One such powerful individual that Epstein forced then minor Jane Doe to have sexual relations with was former Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, a close friend of Epstein and well-known criminal defense attorney. I'm not going to read through that whole thing, but you get the idea. So back to Carolyn Levitt addressing Joe Kent. There are many false claims in this letter, but let me address one specifically, that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. This is the same false claim that Democrats and some in liberal media have been repeating over and over. Blah, 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 blah. So we just saw her other tweet that said there was no imminent threat. And now in this one, she's saying there is an imminent threat. It's absolute nonsense, obviously. She's doing the same thing that Alan Dershowitz did. She's saying that anybody who disagrees with them is a Democrat, and she's not calling them a neo-Nazi, but it's the same kind of thing. Let me see if there's anything else interesting here, because this is a really long tweet. Yeah, so anyways, back to the whole TSA shutdown and the threat to the East Coast or West Coast. Oh, good, the connection is back to normal. So this guy, fairly recently in 2020 bought a large tower in LA. It's the US Bank Tower. His name's Larry Silverstein, and he also owned the World Trade Center. This was just a random tweet that I had found that kind of sums up everything that I had found elsewhere, so it's just kind of easier to read this. I'm not getting this information from just like some random tweet, but this guy kind of condensed everything, so I'm just going to read from this. And notice there's no community note on this one, even though it's only has a few hundred views. But anyway, did someone say the Trump administration will go down as the most manipulated in history? And I don't think it took too much. Yeah, could be. We'll get to that. I have a lot to go over, so I'll try to get through this quickly. But good to see you, Greg. Hope you're doing well, man. So he says, did someone say there would be a terrorist attack in California? Interesting. In July 2001, just weeks before 9/11, July wouldn't be weeks before 9/11, but months, just a few months before 9/11, Larry Silverstein's company signed a 99-year lease on the Twin Towers and several surrounding buildings in Lower Manhattan. It was one of the largest real estate deals in New York history. Silverstein had secured a $3.5 billion insurance policy, which included coverage for terrorism, just before the attacks. He argued that he should receive more money because two separate planes hit the towers. It was two distinct events, which could have doubled the payout. Oh, I need my glasses. Juries found that some insurers were responsible for one occurrence, while others were liable for two. The total payout of roughly $4.55 billion was finalized in 2007. Silverstein was known for having a near daily breakfast meeting at the windows on the World Restaurant, located on the 107th floor of the North Tower, followed by meetings with tenants. On the morning of 9/11, he broke this routine because his wife insisted he attend a medical appointment. Put on some background music. Reports indicate that his children, who were also involved in the business, were not in the towers that morning. And we hear a similar thing to one of Trump's top advisors right now. He had a very similar story on 9/11. Anyway, in September 2020, Larry Silverstein, chairman of Silverstein Properties, acquired the U.S. Bank Tower in downtown Los Angeles for approximately $430 million. This purchase, made from Singapore-based OUE Ltd., marked the World Trade Center developer's first major West Coast acquisition. Silverstein Properties, a leading real estate investment, development, and management firm, announced on March 2nd, 2026, a new 24,416 square foot lease with Wilson Elser at U.S. Bank Tower, its premier 72-story office tower in downtown Los Angeles. Wilson Elser is a law firm, according to their website. They assist Israeli companies not only with commercial, corporate, and cross-border transactional matters, but also with insurance coverage, defense, and litigation. It states we are frequently retained to defend complex insurance claims, both individual lawsuits and class actions filed in North America. So I think it's kind of interesting that this guy is buying buildings in LA, towers, right when the TSA is having all these issues, and they're getting reports that Iran might try to attack the West Coast. Like I said, I'm not saying that something definitely is going to happen, but it's kind of suspicious. We have some other things to go over. So here, Greg was a big Trump supporter. I myself voted for him 3 times. But I'm not afraid to criticize him and disagree with things that he does. And now, according to CNN, 100% of MAGA approve of Trump, which is absolute nonsense and war propaganda, obviously. Here's another poll from Politico. 81% of MAGA support the strikes in Iran. 61% of non-MAGA Republicans support the strikes. A plurality of all Americans support the strikes. So just another nonsense poll. Yeah, of course you'd have to define MAGA. Yeah, so they could just be like, MAGA means that you support Trump no matter what he does, and you never criticize him at all. And I mean, there is a large portion of of Trump supporters who are like that. That, you know, they support Trump no matter what he does, and you never criticize him at all. And I mean, there is a large portion of Trump supporters who are like that. That, you know, they support Trump no matter what he does, and you never criticize him at all. And I mean, there is a large portion of Trump supporters who are like that. that just refuse to criticize him at all. And that kind of brings me to this panel that I was on a couple weeks ago, because that's kind of how some of these people on here are. And this isn't I'm gonna play the clip of me on it and then go over some things that we were sort of talking about, but I want to stress that this isn't like to attack them or make them look stupid. I like these people. Their views are definitely more milk toast than mine. And this panel specifically is run by Potato, who's a supporter of the channel and good guy. And it's his panel. He wants it to be more like a civil discussion and not debates, really, just kind of a discussion. And so I kind of held back a little bit. I kind of wanted to go off on these guys and I kind of conceded something that I didn't really necessarily agree with, but I did it for the sake of the argument, because I wanted to point out one, the specifically address the prompt that that they had. So let's take a look at this real quick.
Sway on in the past, right? Oh,
the prompt is which country over the last 50 years has the most influence on American foreign policy? So most of my viewers would probably agree that it's Israel, no question. But all right, let's take a look at this.
Over American foreign policy, not necessarily like that country
I'm
has
not
control
quite up there yet.
over what America does, right?
Okay,
kind of thing.
That's fair. So in the chat, it looks like Blood Logo says he's waiting for to just get vetted. So he's going to try to put in on this when he gets up here as well.
I mean, does it necessarily have to be another country though? Like can't America just have America's own self-interest in foreign policies? Because I don't see America following suit to any other country but America's.
So this is one of the problems that I have with panels. And again, this isn't to call out this guy or anything like that. I'm not even going to mention his name. But why are you talking about this if you're ignorant of the facts?
Own benefits to an extent, of course.
Well,
but,
my personal argument was going to be basically that I know like a lot of people will think it's Israel, right?
Yeah, I know.
Wonder
that's
why.
Kind of where that's kind
my personal argument would be that in the past, when the Democrats have been in control, they're so right because they're more WEF leaning, right? And where does the WEF come from? Well, it comes from Europe, right? That's where it's all started, right? So those powers in the UK and Europe have been basically working against the United States while being an ally, but also working against the US. So, and that's what Trump is fighting around the world right now.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So are we arguing, like, not arguing, but speaking of America as like past, present, and future type of deal, or like as it is now?
Or like past before Trump. Or like past before Trump, since when Trump has come around, right?
Yeah.
One second, gentlemen. Blood Logos, go ahead and give me a mic check. Make sure you're all good.
Mic check.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yep.
And did anybody else have anything else before? Because I'll give Blood the floor if you guys are.
No, good blood the floor.
Okay, if you want to.
So is the prompt which foreign country has the greatest influence? Was that the original prompt?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's clearly Israel. We've sent them more foreign aid than any other country by a lot. We've vetoed more UN resolutions critical of Israel than any other country. No other country's even close. And the lobbying power of AIPAC is far greater than any other foreign country.
Okay.
As we've seen in these recent comings.
Yeah, but you also know that WEF and European policies have greatly had an impact on America as well. You know, as far as Israel, yeah, they might have some influence, but that's because they're surrounded by people that want to destroy them.
So that argument makes no sense at all. They might have some influence because they're surrounded by people who want to destroy them.
And you guys didn't fight in World War II to just let them be destroyed.
We didn't fight in World War II it didn't have anything to do with Israel. Israel wasn't a country until 1947.
Right. So basically, I believe, and this, you know, people won't agree with me, but at the same time, like, I've heard Trump on numerous occasions, like, basically reel Netanyahu in. Like, he told him basically, like, hey, buddy, you're not the sheriff anymore here.
So they're going to Trump, and I conceded this point because I didn't want to. They're kind of straying from the prompt. The prompt wasn't about Trump. It was, in the last 50 years, which country has had the most influence over U.S. foreign policy. It didn't mention Trump at all. And to keep it civil and not stray from the prompt, I didn't even argue that point, but that argument could easily be defeated. Just look at what his own administration is saying.
I am, and you know, yeah. So I just don't see Trump being bullied around by Netanyahu.
Okay, but the prompt isn't about Trump. It's about, what was it, the last 50 years, I think he said? That's what I just said.
Yeah, it was so...
No, he didn't put a number. He just passed.
Right, so
pre-Trump.
This...
Hey, Ray, good to see you, man. I'm not going to give you a Vulcan salute because that's actually a Kabbalah symbol. And yeah,
this is basically TVT's prompt. He brought it to me, so okay. He can dictate it a little bit, right? But it says, in the past 50 years, who has been in majority sway of U.S. foreign policy, essentially, UK, UAE, UE, or Israel. So
EU.
Yeah. Sorry, I misspoke there. EU, or the UK, EU, or Israel. And ULF, thank you very much for joining us. He says that first 25 years it was the EU, last 25 years is Israel. Is his take on
just making stuff up
on it.
Well, that's kind of where I was gonna go. I don't know. I don't think that Israel has a big influence on us. I could be wrong. I'm not really.
You're wrong.
Exactly a scholar on Israel, you know, whatever. Obvious. But I always looked at it as the EU prior to all this, you know, prior to even like Trump. Like I always just figured it was the EU. I knew like Israel had power, but I never thought that the United States was Israel's bitch, like everybody's making it seem like.
Right.
Well, and it's, you know, it's not Israel that's been asking USA to fight all these wars, right? Like it's been
Sure it is.
And Europe. In Europe, basically. Well,
I said
recently,
sure it
sure,
is.
I agree. Recently,
Last 30 years, at least.
but you know, you guys were attacked. You guys
We
were
were
attacked. And you went
By
after
who?
the people that attacked you. I don't really think that had to do with Israel. I think you guys did that on your own volition. But also other countries like Europe.
When did Iraq attack the U.S.?
Well, do you know where?
So he said we were attacked, and that's why we started these wars, to go after the people that attacked us. Iraq never attacked us. Afghanistan never attacked us. Syria never attacked us. Russia never attacked us. And that's referring to the proxy war in Ukraine.
You know where the information came from?
Yeah.
That went to go into Iraq, it came from Britain.
Netanyahu. So I kind of cut out there. I said that it came from Netanyahu. He's claiming that it came from Britain. And he's lying there, or he's just misinformed.
No, it came from Britain. Look it up.
So I got kind of quiet here because I wanted to pull up information to prove him wrong. And we will. What's up, I dig
While
sheep?
we got a
Good to see you,
minute.
man.
So Barn, appreciate you joining the panel or joining the chat there. And again, if anybody wants to join the panel, anybody is welcome to join. You just need to join the Discord, go through the vetting process with our the moderator in the vetting room, and then you can come on up. Sorry about that, guys. You can go ahead and go back to it.
So it looks like I can't post in the side chat here, but I have a Times of Israel article about Netanyahu talking in 2003, telling the U.S. that invading Iraq, they would find WMDs there.
Gotcha. So this is still in practice, but if you want to post that in like the general starchiness or something, that would work. We can check it out.
Yeah, and I'm also reading here that Britain may not have been the sole country, but they were the first to pass on info.
So now he kind of retracted his statement and said that they weren't the only ones who gave information, but they were the first, which is still incorrect.
British intelligence claimed that Iraq possessed usable.
So I think that's pretty much most of the discussion as far as my involvement. I think I did say a few more things, but it's not really that important. And actually, I was Netanyahu did speak in 2003 to Congress, but he actually was talking about it well before that. This probably can't really see this, but I'll read a little bit of it. It's a Wikipedia article about it. A clean break, a new strategy for securing the realm. Commonly known as the Clean Break Report, is a policy document that was prepared in 1996. Excuse me. So quite a few years before 2003. by a study group led by Richard Pearl for Benjamin Netanyahu, the then Prime Minister of Israel. The report explained a new approach to solving Israel's security problems in the Middle East with an emphasis on Western values. It has since been criticized for advocating an aggressive new policy, including the removal of Saddam Hussein from power in Iraq and the containment of Syria by engaging in proxy warfare, and highlighting its possession of weapons of mass destruction. Certain parts of the policy set forth in the paper were rejected by Netanyahu. However, the report was ultimately adopted and serves as a foundation for modern-day Israeli global affairs. So this is well before any attacks on the U.S. that weren't even done by those countries in the first place anyway. So this kind of comes back to the whole MAGA thing of them not being able to criticize Trump in any way, to the point where they're just in complete denial and coping and ignoring facts. So here's a few things that are related to that I didn't get into in that panel, but they're about Trump and Israel. This is Trump on calling into a radio show. I'm not sure the exact year. The video's from 4 years ago. I'm not exactly sure when this was, and I can't find the full clip, but this does show the important part, at least.
The biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress. And now it doesn't.
So he's saying that Israel rightfully had huge power over Congress, and now he's saying that they don't anymore, which is complete nonsense. Just because there's a couple of Democrats like AOC and those types that aren't pro-Israel, that are pro-Palestine, that means that Israel still doesn't have complete control over Congress. A few outliers doesn't change that fact.
It's incredible, actually.
That they kept promising. I never understood it until I got there. There was a lot of pressure put on these presidents. It was put on me too, but I didn't yield to the pressure. But every president for decades said, we're going to do it. The difference is I kept my promise and officially recognized the capital of Israel and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam. She's back there. Stand up, Miriam. Stand up.
So Miriam Adelson is one of his top donors. She's a billionaire. Pretty sure she's a dual Israeli-American citizen. She's also the largest contributor to AIPAC, the Israel lobby. I believe this speech is in Israel at their parliament or something like that. That's her there.
Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office.
Sheldon's her husband.
He'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. Look at her sitting there.
So the largest donor to Israeli lobbies had more meetings with Donald Trump than anyone else. But Israel has no influence over Trump, right? Absolute nonsense.
So innocently. She's got 60 billion in the bank, 60 billion. And I think she's saying no more. And she loves Israel, but she loves it, and they would come in, and her husband was a very aggressive man, but I loved him. He was a very aggressive, very supportive of me. And he'd call up, can I come over and see you? I say, Sheldon, I'm the president of the United States. It doesn't work that way. He'd come in, we would do. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights, which is probably one of the greatest things to ever happen to Israel. Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country.
He's in Israel, so when he says she loves this country, he's talking about Israel.
She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
We love you. Thank you, darling, for being here. That's a great honor. Great honor. She's a wonderful woman. She is a great woman.
We're on the list because we were.
This is just a quick clip from Tucker. I didn't want to play this because of Tucker. I wanted to play it because of this clip of Pete Hegseth and what he says about rebuilding the third temple in Israel.
There's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
That's the Secretary of War right now overseeing the war with Iran that people fighting it are starting to say actually is about rebuilding this third temple. It's the same man. And what are its implications? Global religious war. The first heavily publicized move by the United States military and the Israeli military was to kill the head of state of Iran. Is that wise? That might have consequences that affect the United States. Did killing the religious leader cripple their command and control structure? Were they unable to launch missiles and drones when we killed the 86-year-old Ayatollah? No, because he knew he was going to be killed. That's why he stayed above ground, apparently. He wanted to be martyred. Now, why would he want to be martyred? Maybe because he wanted a religious war. Why did we kill him? Maybe because we wanted a religious war.
Yeah, it's clearly a religious war.
First of all, I just want to say,
and I see so many hardcore Trump supporters that refuse to criticize him, that deny that this is what they're doing. When the administration is saying that's what they're doing, it's not like it's some Jew-spurging conspiracy theory. Like it's literally what they say that they're doing. It's very clear. What do you think about Joe Kent stepping down? I talked about it briefly. He was on Tucker Carlson. It was a pretty interesting interview. I recommend watching it. I'm not going to watch it on stream because it's long, and I think I agree with a lot of what he's saying. So I couldn't really, I wouldn't be able to give very good commentary to it because I agree with a lot of what he said. So another thing that Israel did was they shut down the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, which is one of the holiest sites, if not the holiest site in Christianity. And it's Lent right now, and Pascha is coming up. It's kind of like the most important time of the year. And they shut it down completely. So Christians who make that pilgrimage are not allowed to worship. This is the first time they've ever done it in history, apparently. So yeah, I think they're absolutely going to eventually destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is on the Temple Mount. And they might possibly try to blame it on Iran by an Iranian strike. Because I've already seen them claiming that Iran is attacking Muslim sites in Israel, which is kind of it sounds pretty silly to me. I think that's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about all this. I am going to run to the bathroom real quick. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Part of having negative aura, you get phantom attacks by life. Aura Max gives you wings. One sip and you'll mog your entire timeline. Packed with pure Sigma extract and zero copium. Side effects include sudden touch grass rants, ghosting your therapist, and realizing your whole bloodline is mid. Not for betas, vegans, or anyone still using pronouns in bio. If you're under 25 and your portfolio is negative, this is financial advice. Aura Max, because your vibe is already cooked, real for real. Buy it or stay in GMI.
Hello guys, I watch a lot of streams on YouTube, but honestly, Blood Lego is my favorite. He has completely tapped in historically, spiritually, even cosmically. So if you start watching, accepting quick rent, and suddenly he is connecting dots across history, theology, and civilians. Half of the time I'm sitting there and thinking, is this guy genius, completely insane, or just dumb? But either way, you cannot stop watching, trust me. So if you have not hit the like button yet, please fix it immediately through him a donation and support Blood Legos. Thank you very much.
Ever get a headache that just won't stop? Like your skull's a prison and thoughts are the inmates rioting? Aspirin? Nah, that's for boomers. Introducing Mind Milk.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Did I miss anything in the chat? Doesn't look like it. Let me see here. If anybody wants to call in, I'll put a link up. It's not going to work. Could not start video source. Let's try this. Camera failed to load. Why? I might just have to do voice. Wait a second. See if this works. If anybody wants to call in. Whoops, I just left it. What? Oh no, I didn't. I don't really have anything else to watch, so yeah, that's about all I have. I'm going to give it a minute and see if anybody wants to call in to talk about any of this stuff. And then, if not, probably end it pretty soon. But yeah, anybody who is interested in this stuff should probably check out that interview with Joe Kent on Tucker. Yeah, the whole with Israel is land expansion. That's part of it, yeah. The Greater Israel Project. Iran is their greatest threat in the region to that, even though Iran isn't exactly part of the Greater Israel plan. I mean, the land itself isn't. Good show. Good show, Mike. Thank you. Thank you. Had a lot of technical issues, but thankfully it's going well now. Part of for sure. But yeah, the rebuilding of the temple is a big part of it as well. They already have the blueprints for it and the heifers and the sacrificial red heifers. And the reason they don't just build it now is because there's a mosque. There's a mosque standing there, and if they were to just demolish it, like every Muslim country would attack them at once. Should have said their short-term goals, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it's people are just refuse to criticize Trump, or they aren't paying attention to what's going on, or they're in denial and coping about it. But we're clearly being influenced by Israel and have been for a long time. And to deny it is just retarded. But of man, they want to tear it down, and given the time, they will find a way to. Yeah. So they're definitely working on it. It's all. I mean, they've been working on it for a long time. No new wars. It's not a war. It's a limited military action. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has or not, but it's pretty obvious that they have a lot of influence. So it doesn't really matter if it is or not. Like, they basically said that they attacked because Marco Rubio said that they attacked because they knew that Israel was going to attack and that they would retaliate against U.S. allies and bases because of the Israel attack, so they had to do it. So no matter how you look at it, it's still for Israel. All right, I guess nobody wants to call in, so I'm gonna close that. But yeah, I mean, Trump has been criticizing some of the things that Israel's been doing. Like he was apparently angry about them attacking some oil fields and stuff, and who knows? That could just be for show. It probably is just for show. But again, even if it isn't for show, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I can play this really quick. This is pretty funny. This is from Joe Rogan, of all places.
I got circumcised at like 32 because I had a
Jesus
problem.
Christ,
Lord's
son.
name. But it was a beautiful experience. I enjoyed it. I had a nice time.
Ooh, did you get a rabbi to suck your dick?
I thought about it. I thought I could leave that in as an option, but also it's fine.
And by the way, for
It's
people,
no different.
I'm not making a joke.
They do suck the. Sometimes they have a tube. Sometimes they have a special tube.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't.
No, sometimes they
And
just get the whole
they've
dick around.
given kids herpes, and babies
Children do die every year.
died
Yeah.
from it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grim. But circumcision in general, I'm in favor.
Why?
Because I know what it was like before. I know what it was like after. It's not a big deal.
This is
but there are people. What I'm saying, people make it their whole
one
life.
of one.
Yeah, I've experienced
study.
both as an adult. People
I
go.
think most people would not want their dick to be cut for no real reason other than aesthetics. And people are like, "Oh, it prevents AIDS." Like, shut the fuck up.
I got to go to the AIDS Memorial Garden.
So yeah, the thing that they left out was that it's not just some babies get herpes from it. It's thousands and thousands every year, and it's a fairly common practice. I was actually on a different panel, not the one that I showed. This was several months ago, and with a Jewish guy, a Jewish lawyer, and I brought up the fact that that's a practice. I can't remember exactly how we got to that, but he denied it, and then when I pressed him on it, and I was like, "No, you're lying. It is a real practice." He said, "Oh well, it's like a really small fringe group that does that. It's not common." Blah blah blah. But actually, thousands and thousands of babies every year get herpes from it. And when a baby gets herpes, it's not like they just take some take some medicine and it clears it up and they're okay. It can kill them, and it does kill them. Just this month, a 2-week-old baby was hospitalized with severe herpes infection after contracting the virus during a bris that involved direct oral suction. So, yeah. Absolutely disgusting. And fitting for the synagogue of Satan. What time is it? It's about dinner time for me. I'm out of content to talk about. So I'm probably going to call it here. Thank you guys for watching and participating in the chat. I appreciate all of you. God bless you guys. And see you next time.
Hello guys, I watch a lot of streams on YouTube, but honestly, Blood Lego is my favorite. He has completely tapped in historically, spiritually, even cosmically. So if you start watching, accepting quick and suddenly he is connecting dots across history, theology and civilians. Half of the time I'm sitting there and thinking, is this guy genius, completely insane, or just dumb? But either way, you cannot stop watching, trust me. So if you have not hit the like button yet, please fix it immediately through him, a donation, and support Blood Legos. Thank you very much.